AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal.
Hi and welcome on to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Brought to you today by Rocket Mobile. Don't forget, you can get Rocket Mobile, 20 gigabytes of data, free calls, free texts, right? All for £16 a month, and you get to keep your number. If you're interested, click the link in the description. Just got to say, before we get stuck into the transfers, what a win for Arsenal yesterday. That is exactly what we needed, what we required. I was driving up to the game yesterday, a long drive up to Leeds, and I was saying to the guys, I was going, you know what? We need to win, obviously. That's the most important thing. But an emphatic win, that will kind of show everybody that we're back, we're serious after this little sort of blip that we've had, 2 draws before that game, and that loss to Manchester United. That will sort of, just let people know that we're still around, right? And we're still serious about winning this league. I was saying all of it. I thought we'd win, but I was like, this is going to be a tough game. They haven't lost their ground since November. Leeds, they've been really giving the big teams a really, really tough time at their ground. But I didn't think we'd win the way we did. 4-0, absolutely emphatic. And again, that Arsenal squad proving its worth. Noni Madueke, the star of the show yesterday. Saka being pulled in the warm-up with a little niggle. Probably last season or the season before, he would still have played. It would have been like, all right, let's get him into the change room, rub that down a bit. He's all right to go. That was when we were overplaying these players. Nope, out you come. We got someone who can replace you, and he comes in and does brilliantly. That is the value of having a great squad. That is why you go into the transfer market and you build a good team. So well done to Arsenal for yesterday. Really buzzing after that. Of course, you'll be wondering to yourself, why am I doing this show today? Not because it's just not only because it's been quite quiet this month, but also it's the 1st of February. And as I said at the start of the show, players have been linked with a move in the January transfer window. Well, this is still the January transfer window. As I said on yesterday's show, the reason why it's extending into tomorrow, the 2nd of February, is because this is a game weekend for all of the leagues across Europe. And the transfer window closes at 7 p.m. tomorrow for the Premier League, for the Bundesliga, La Liga over there in Spain, French Liga, and all of those close tomorrow at 7 p.m. The Saudi window actually closes on the 2nd. We've had times when that's closing after the European leagues. The only league that's closing later is the Turkish league on the 6th of February. So between now and tomorrow at 7 p.m., that will be it. Are Arsenal going to get any deals done? Will anybody be leaving? Christian Norgaard has been subject to a lot of interest, especially from Ajax over there in the Netherlands. Now, Voetbal Premier, which is an outlet over there in the Netherlands, they report that Ajax tried to make a move to sign Christian Norgaard, but it was turned down by Arsenal. They do not want to sell or loan Christian Norgaard. They see him as a very important player for Arsenal and, a very important squad member, which he has been. He showed during the week when he played in the Champions League, wasn't in the squad for yesterday's game, but could play in Tuesday's game against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Going to be an important member of the squad from now till the end of the season. Lots of games to play, and Norgaard is not going anywhere. So that turned down that move to Ajax. However, they are making another player go to Ajax, and Voetbal Premier, the same outlet, reporting that Alexander Zinchenko, who was on loan at Nottingham Forest, that's been cut short, and he's been sold to Ajax. His medical has been completed, and he will be unveiled as an Ajax player very, very shortly. The fee is said to be around about £1.5 million. So far, the only major outgoing for Arsenal this January transfer window. Another player who's been subject to a lot of interest from the team that's loaning him is Fabio Vieira. Remember him, Fabio Vieira? He has been out on loan at Hamburg over there in the Bundesliga. Last year he was at loan at Porto. Now he's on loan at Hamburg, and he's been doing all right. I mean, scored yesterday. They got a great result. They drew with the Bundesliga leaders, Bayern Munich, and he scored a penalty in that game. It was a 2-2 draw. Very, very big result for Hamburg. And they've been really enjoying Fabio Vieira over there. 2 goals, 3 assists this season, and has been playing really, really well. And the rumours are is that they would like to sign him from Arsenal on a permanent deal. However, Arsenal looking in excess of £20 million for Fabio Vieira, and Hamburg at the moment just can't afford it. The budgets of the teams over there in Germany, apart from, say, your Bayern Munich's, maybe Dortmund, just not compare at all to the teams in the Premier League where you got teams down, not even say down the bottom, but you're like, well, listen, let's look at Crystal Palace at the moment. They are down near the bottom. They can afford to buy Brennan Johnson 35 million, and they can afford to be paying 55 million for Strand Larsen. That's nearly 90 million pounds in the January transfer window. What club, apart from your Bayerns and Dortmund, can afford to do that in Germany? None. So Fabio Vieira does look like he'll be coming back to Arsenal at the end of the season. But if he has a successful loan period, they're probably going to be looking to sell him for around about that 20 million pounds mark. Still contracted at Arsenal till 2027. Now, according to Fijares over there in Spain, they're claiming that Arsenal are set to launch a £87 million bid to sign Arda Guler. Not this January, but in the summer. They think he's going to be a priority signing for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta, Andrea Berta, big fans of Arda Guler. Super, super talented player, as we know. At Real Madrid, not getting the game time, but has all the talent. Now, this is what they're claiming. I do think with a lot of these signings from Real Madrid, a lot of potential signings, should I say, it all depends on what the situation is going to be at the club. I definitely think you're going to see some big stars on the move from Real Madrid, but who will they be? Who's going to be in charge? I don't think it will be Arbeloa who's in charge at the moment. Who will be in charge of the club come the summer is going to determine who moves on, who stays, how much money do they, require. But definitely Arda Guler could be on the move. And if he is, Arsenal want him as one of their big money signings for the summer. So it's going to be one to watch. Certainly ain't going nowhere now in the January transfer window, but Guler being linked with a move to Arsenal. So is this Brazilian youngster. He goes by the name of Eduardo Conceição. He plays for Palmeiras over there in Brazil. Still only 16, so kind of Max Dowman type vibes. He's a left winger. Has been really, really, shining over there in Brazil. I heard him being described as the new Endrick and the new this and the new that. That's what you get. But apparently, according to Sport Witness, they say that Arsenal are the favourites to sign him and have already held talks with his representatives that they came over to London. They've met with him and want to buy him. They see him as a player of the future. And Arsenal very, very keen to get his signature done, especially when you consider that there's some big clubs after him. Barcelona, PSG, Liverpool, all interested in signing Conceição. But Arsenal said to be ahead of the queue, held the talks with the representatives and are looking to get something sorted. Don't know quite how that would work because normally 16 is going to have to be 18 until, Arsenal would be able to permanently sign him. So I don't know, maybe some sort of agreement in place. I don't know, but they're interested in Eduardo Conceição. So those are the rumours for today. Tomorrow will be the final day of the transfer window. If anything happens, we will bring it to you here on AFTV Transfer Daily. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow as well to round up all of the latest transfer rumours on the last day of the transfer window. At the moment, it's looking very quiet for Arsenal. We've got a great squad, but will they make a last-minute move for one of the many targets they've been linked to this January transfer window? I think we'll find out tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Travelling to away games has never been easier, especially with Rocket Mobile.
Unlimited data, unlimited everything in the UK. When you leave the UK, it's 20 gig of roaming data. life is very easy.
£16 a month, no hassle.
How you doing?
You're doing all right? And this is what you get in Europe.
I know. Tony Adams!
Come on, like,
Thank you so much. You're the man.